Holy, what did I just drop? I don't know. I shouldn't have put this color on. It's hot. I'm burning up. Hey, y'all. Oh, I'm over here trying to shoot content. Get this together and prepare. Be prepared. I really wanted to like relax, but we're here. Hey, Justin. How you doing, love? Honestly, I'm tired of repeating the same cycle. Whew. It's hot. Thank you. Light drop. I need to life be life and see what we talking about tonight. How you doing, Justin? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the heart puffs. Let me see. How many I need? I think 80. Okay, I'm good. Honestly, I'm tired of repeating the same cycles. I wanna let it go. How y'all feeling tonight? Ooh. You okay? Hey, Empress. Thank you for joining. You're okay. You're okay. The boxes are open. Let me see what we about to talk about tonight. I'm glad that you're okay, though. Thank you for liking the screen, tapping it up, liking, sharing, all the things. I'm trying to see what we talked about last time. Okay. I guess I could do this to my changing your mindset or whatever, and what that entails, and like we could talk about how that is for you all. Okay. The boxes are open. If you want to share your story, you're more than welcome to. And if this is your first time here, I am Portia O, your host of Life Be Life and Podcast. And today is Life Be Life and Monday. A new episode drops tonight on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is episode 4 of season 3 of the podcast. And tonight's episode that is dropping is talking about being a peace-seeking vessel, okay? I know we all saw that TikTok with the little thing. I actually did a video on that, talking about I'm a peace-seeking vessel and I found myself, okay? But I'm going to break down, like, what a peace-seeking vessel really is and what that looks like. So, yeah, please tune in to that new episode drop tonight, okay? Also, so we're doing episode recap from season 2. And this is going to be the recap of episode number 13, which was talking about changing your mindset. Or whatever. Thank you so much for liking the screen. Hey, Jay Hardaway, how you doing, love? Let me go to the episode. Yeah, so we are here. Let me share this out. Life be life and life be life and life be life and when I fall. Let me find this episode thing so I can see my notes. I'm cooking too right now. I would have been live cooking, but I'm making some spaghetti squash enchilada boats, and the spaghetti squash take dang near an hour to bake in the oven. So it would have been no point of me filming that. I'm going to make a video about it. With Cooking with P. But yeah, I'm still on my healthy eating journey. I'm doing the best that I can. Lord knows. It is a journey. Okay. But going to this episode talking about changing your mindset. Do you give the devil all the glory? Is what I titled this episode. Because so quickly we be in moments of situations and experience in life, and we be like, oh my gosh, the devil is trying it. The devil. Like, we so quick to blame him and give him the glory for the situation that you are experiencing, opposed to like looking at it with a different mindset. Like, maybe God is taking me through this moment to teach me something, or I'm supposed to learn something from this, or strengthen something within me, opposed to me looking at it like the devil. Now, the devil do want to see us fail. Don't get me wrong. He wants to see us fail. He wants to see us not be prosperous and not be living in our purpose and doing the things. But also, like, I think we need to do better about not giving, because it really does give him glory when we say things like that and be like, oh my gosh, like he doing this and he doing that, and he like, yeah, you better give me my props. But I just want to give more of God the glory in all things, because he did say in his word that we will experience trials and tribulations. We will go through different things or whatever. And also just kind of like looking at it like, this is meant to strengthen me. This is meant to be a testimony. This is meant for me to share with someone. This is meant, like, it's just a perspective shift and a mindset shift that has to happen in order for us to like really grow and be better, right? And so some of the questions that I asked throughout this podcast episode was, what does it look like to change your mindset? Okay. What does it look like to change your mindset? Because obviously it doesn't happen overnight. And it's not just a thought and all of a sudden, oh, my mindset has changed all the time and I'm going to always think this way. No, it's actually takes a lot of actionable steps and things that you have to go through and experience, right? To kind of like be better and show up better. And so, yeah, what does that look like to change your mindset? And it could be so simple and easy as just like your tongue using different verbiage and speaking a little differently and being a little more purposeful with what you say, right? Another question I asked throughout this podcast episode was, when should you initiate this shift? When should you actually change your mindset? Is there a particular time or season or moment that you should kind of like, okay, now I'm going to move in this direction? Like, what does that look like for you? When should you initiate this shift? And the last question that I asked throughout this episode was, why is this even a thought? Why is this even a thought? And I question a lot of things, because y'all know I'm inquisitive. And so I did question, like, why do we have such negative mindsets? Thank you so much, Justin. Appreciate you, love. Why do we have negative mindsets? Why are we so hyper-focused on those thoughts, those feelings that we have to be negative, more so than being more positive or shifting our perspective to, yes, this hurts. Yes, this is annoying. Yes, I don't want to go through this. Yes, I don't want to be in this season, but I am here. And clearly God wants to use me in this moment. Clearly he wants me to receive something at this moment. Clearly there's a purpose, a greater purpose. Hey Darren, hey Brown Sugar, how you doing, loves? Clearly there's a bigger purpose than what I can see in this moment. So what can you do? Like, what can you do to help this be a perspective shift? What can you do to help yourself through those moments? Why is it even a thought for you to be negative in those moments? And I truly believe, like, for a long time, especially when I was younger, and people say you are born into sin and shaped in iniquity. And that's what the Bible says, obviously. But people used to say that all the time, like, to describe humans, like, we are born in sin and shaped in iniquity. And I never understood that fully as a child or a young adult. Like, what do you mean we're born in sin and shaped in iniquity? And I think because of us being born in sin and shaped in iniquity, we are cloaked with negativity, being that the devil roams the earth and all that type of stuff, him being cast down to the earth, all that type of stuff, right? And it's just like, as soon as we come out of our mother's womb, like, it's on us to, like, the negativity, the sinful nature, all of that, it's on us. And it's up to us to make a decision as we grow and as we evolve to be better than those choices or than those things that seem to come so easily to us. But also what I've also, like, kind of found out throughout my life is that just as well as those negative things may seem to come easy to me, I have a lot of positive gifts, attributes, all that type of stuff. Hey, Darren. Hey, y'all. Hey. That also come really easily to me. So, but again, we so hyper focused on the negative stuff. We can be like all day, like, oh, you know, the worst thing that my teachers used to say about me when I was in school was that I talked too much, right? Because I had a little attitude, just a little bit, not much, because I didn't like getting in trouble. I was a goody two shoes, but also, like, you be like, stop talking. Look, I want to talk to my friends. Like, okay, whatever. But, like, we all have our things, right? And so I think it's just like, I forgot what I was saying, child. So what I was trying to say, the point of it was, even though I am or was a certain type of way as a student, and my teachers could say, oh, she talked too much, that was her problem. She got a little attitude problem a little bit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I still chose to be that way. And I also let those things penetrate me much deeper than when somebody said, oh, Portia is an excellent student. Oh, she listens very well. She follows instructions very well. She's a great leader. Like, those didn't stick to me or my bones as much as the negative comments did, right? Like, I can remember very few and far in between of teachers telling me how bright they thought I was, or how, you know, how well-spoken I was, or how much of a great reader I was. But I remember those negative comments like the back of my hand, like no problem, right? And I think that's a part of us being born into sin and shaped into iniquity. Like, that shapes us. And I think, you know, depending on your circumstances and the way that you grew up, also shapes us in our framework of how we look at the world. And so it's easy for negativity to flow out of you when that's all that's been put into you, right? And even though that's not the intentionality behind the people that you have grown up around or whatever, I don't think nobody purposefully was like, I'm about to pour negativity into this child so they can grow up and be negative. But life be lifing. And people don't see their own unhealed wounds until much later, if ever, because some people will never even recognize it or see it. Hey, mommy, fully. And so you kind of just gotta That's why God gives us free will. He gives us free will to choose to be one way or the other, to choose. And that's in everyday life. I was just listening to a sermon earlier today, and he was talking about self-control, which was right on time for me, because a part of this 75-day challenge and me trying to eat better and healthier is self-control. It really is just self-control. And he broke down self-control into an acronym. He broke down self into an acronym. And I think it was either, and it's two choices, because this is what God does with us. Self represented spirit, empowered life of faith. That's self-control. Or self-control can look like sin empowered life of, what was it? Life of flesh. And I say that all the time. How I feel like I am in a battle constantly with trauma-filled Portia, unhealed version Portia, and this new Portia that I am working so hard to curate and become, right? Because it really is that sinful flesh against that spirit-filled, faith-believing person. It really is. And so, I think that is so important for us to recognize that a lot of times our mindsets be planted in our flesh and not so much our spirit. And we are spiritual beings having a humanistic experience, right? Working on oneself. For sure, Justin. And it's like a constant battle of the best. Like, who gonna win? And he kind of said that in the sermon, like, you wake up and the instant thought is, who gonna win today? Is it gonna be your spirit or is it gonna be your sin, your flesh? Like, which one gonna win today? And that, that like rung so true for me, because I was like, that is me every single day. I want to wake up and be positive and and I'm not just saying like positive, like, hi, everything's great, da 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 da. No, being positive towards myself, being positive in the choices that I make and the decisions that I make for the day. Like, soon as I wake up, I'm like, okay, boom. How you feeling today, Portia? Okay, I got a little headache. And I've had this nagging headache since I got up this morning. Well, not since I got up, but it kind of creeped back in. And I'm just like over it. It's like making me feel over everything. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to do none of the things. And I had it since yesterday. And I took some pills last night, hoping that as I went to sleep, that it would go away. And I woke up this morning, it was gone, but then it came right back. And so I'm like, man, I don't like feeling depleted in my body, even from something so slight pain as a headache, right? But it's just little things like that can make you choose to be one way or another, right? And I yesterday kind of fell into the trap of, because I have this pain, I'm not feeling the best, I don't want to do nothing. But things got to get done. I got to feed my family. I got to figure out, getting the kids' stuff ready for school for the week. I got to wash clothes. I got to do homework. I got to film my podcast. I got stuff to do. But I didn't want to do none of the things because I didn't feel like doing it in my flesh, right? Justin said, God wins in my life, period, Justin. Hey, Gregory, how you doing, love? Keep working. I choose to work through my pain. Yes, Justin, that's what I'm saying. But also sometimes, hey, Legendary, thank you so much, love. Sometimes, most times I choose to work through the pain, but sometimes I don't freaking feel like it. And I'm just going to be honest, I don't feel like it. My flesh be weak. Thank you so much, Justin. Appreciate you. It be weak. And I let the way that I feel in my flesh alter my mindset. Even though I woke up with all the best intentions to, I'm going to get this and this and that done today. I'm going to show up for me. I'm going to really be purposeful and do what I said I was going to do. And then something just like that can switch me off. And I can make a decision not to show up for Portia. Not to do any of the things. And just blah. You know what I'm saying? But, it's like, which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to be in your flesh and your sinful nature? Or are you going to choose to really have some self-control and show up for you and be spirit-led and not so much flesh-led, not led by my sinful nature? My sinful nature wants to eat a double cheeseburger every single day. I'm just going to be honest. I love cheeseburgers. I love pizza. I love tacos. I love all those things. And they can be good for you, but also you can't have them every day, Portia. Because it's not good for your health. And because you know your hereditary status of diabetes, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, all of those things running in your family, that means that you got to make a different choice so that you can live a little different than what your ancestors have, right? But my flesh be like, no, let's be gluttonous. Let's eat all the cheeseburgers, all the chocolate chip cookies, all the things. Let's have all the pops, all the sodas, whatever y'all want to call them. We call them pop here in Chicago, okay, period. But anyway, let's have all the things. And again, it's not that you can't indulge sometimes, but all the time? Just because your flesh is telling you, let's do it. It's up to you to make the decision. It's up to you to change your mindset and be like, no, even though I don't feel the best in my flesh, I'm going to let my spirit lead me. And I'm going to show up differently for myself. I can eat this cheeseburger, but is it helping me or is it hindering me? Is it going to elongate my life or is it going to shorten my life? Like, especially if I've had 10 this week already. Like, it's like, come on now. We got to make smarter decisions and smarter choices and just try to do better. And it's all with a simple decision. God gives us free will. He said it's up to us. He's not going to make us do any of the things. He leaves it up to you. You know, so I'm just trying my best to change my mindset. And I have in a lot of ways, but it still is a work in progress. It's a daily thing. Just like anything, it's a daily choice. I could have chose yesterday that I'm going to show up for me every single day and do all the things. But it's a whole nother thing with putting it into action. Hey, Blossom baby. Putting it into action and doing the things. Just like people choose to be married. And then all of a sudden they choose to not want to put in the work towards the marriage any longer. It's a daily choice. People choose to go to work every single day. And some people choose to be like, you know what? F that job. I'm not going in today. I don't care. I don't care. Hey, Raleigh. How you doing, love? Like, we all have choices. We all get to pick and choose which path or direction we want to go in. But also, it's about changing how you view things and how your mindset is set up. If I know that I have a gluttonous spirit, then I might want to be a little more purposeful with my choices, going about what I put into my body, right? So yeah, today I still didn't feel like cooking. I still don't feel like doing all the things, but guess what? I chose to sign into work. I chose to do a grocery order so that I could make some other foods recipes I wanted to make this week. I chose to do my homework. I chose to what else I had to do today? Upload my podcast and do all the things. I chose to start outlining a new podcast God gave to me in a dream. I chose to do all these things. I chose to take my kids to swim, even though I could have canceled that and saved myself some gas and time breaking to go do that. I chose to go to work out. Even though I didn't get up at my 5:30 a.m. alarm time, I still went and worked out today. I chose to get it done. And then I came home and I still chose to cook. And I was like, man, I ain't got much time. I gotta get on here. I gotta do my podcast stuff. But also, we still gotta live. So what are you gonna choose to do, Portia? And instead of the mindset that I typically have of, oh, I don't feel like it, I'm overwhelmed, I don't want to do all these things, I chose to look at it differently. Listen, just take it one task at a time and do the things. And that's what I did. And now looking back, like, I got a lot of things done. When I could have just chose to call off of work, I could have chose to lay in my bed all day until the kids came home. That would have delayed me in a lot of things. I wouldn't have been able to get none of the things that I had got done, right? And then I would have been scrambling at the last minute, putting myself in a situation I'd be even more overwhelmed with. It's choices. It's a mindset. It makes a difference. Hey, Feline, how you doing, love? Happy Life Be Life on Monday. Hey, CC girl, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining. The boxes are open if you guys would like to come up here and talk. We're talking about changing our mindset, and whatever that looks like for you. If it's something that you struggled with in the past or present, you're currently still working through and working on, and what are you doing to help yourself change that mindset? What are you doing to, heal, essentially? Because changing a mindset is healing. It is healing. Yeah. It is very much so healing. So I talked about throughout this episode, I defined what a mindset would look like. And the definition of mindset is an established set of attitudes held by someone. And even that definition spoke volumes to me. An established set of attitudes held by someone. Again, I told y'all, my teacher just be like, she got a little attitude problem because they be telling me to be quiet. I want to talk. But people can prescribe to you what type of attitudes you have and all types of things all day long. Oh, you got an attitude problem. Oh, you got a nasty attitude. Or she has a positive attitude. Or they have like a nonchalant type of attitude. Like, it's different types of attitudes. But what really stuck out to me with this definition was it's an established set of attitudes held by someone. And when you think about the evolution of a person from a baby to an adult, a baby don't know nothing. They only know what you put into them, right? They are constantly learning and growing and soaking up everything around them and all the things. Like, that's why they say they're like little sponges, because they're soaking up all the information that is being placed around them and what's in their environment. And so if you're constantly, like I said earlier, putting negativity, even if you're not voluntarily doing it, but you're raising someone in a hostile environment, an environment that there's a lot of yelling and screaming all the time, cussing and fussing all the time, smacking and abusive verbally, emotionally, physically. Like, what else do you think? How else would you think that their established set of attitudes would be? Do you think that they will come out of that being a positive person? Do you think that they will come out of that environment looking at the world like, oh my gosh, it's all at my fingertips. I can do anything and all things. If nobody ever told them that, if nobody ever poured that into them, an established set of attitudes is what other people have given us. And we grow up to hold it near and dear to our heart. This is why our children are horrible, shaking my head. Exactly, Justin. Partially. I mean, yes. Because who has told them that something better? Like, you know, and I could think about, like, primarily children growing up. Let me not even go. I ain't even got to go to the hood. You know, I grew up in the hood. My kids have not experienced that. And I'm like, I sometimes, as a mom, feel like I'm doing them a disservice to not give them that grit that I received, essentially. Hey, Lincoln, how you doing? Say, hey, boss lady. Hey. But anyway, I could use this example that, even we live in a suburban area, whatever. My kids go to a predominantly white schools, right? But it's a bunch of kids in there, but it's predominantly white because that's the area we live in. But anyway, even with her being, my 8-year-old being in that environment, it helps shape a different mindset and showing me also that even though she's in this environment, that kids be being kids. Okay? And a lot of things that they say, and my daughter will come back and tell me, like, somebody said the N-word on the bus today. Like, she ain't never heard that. Really, for real. Like, she ain't never heard that, and she was like, what is that? And I told her, and I gave her the origin behind it, and what that looks like, and all that type of stuff, and why it's not okay for other people that are not black to say that, and different things like that. And she just, like, she learned about Trump, essentially, through her school, and hearing kids talk. And I'm like... If somebody is saying the N-word, that's because somebody in their household has a set of attitude, right? Or they have an attitude that they're placing on them to establish their set of attitudes to think, oh, you can say this word to make people feel a certain type of way. You're not supposed to say. They thought it was funny. They thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're grooming, essentially, children to have these established set of attitudes. And then hold them. And so what I am realizing now that some people that I talk to and have engaged in a conversation with that have children that are becoming adults right now, and they have conversation with them, they think they know everything, and they trying to talk about our civil rights leaders, and they doing this and they doing that, and I'm like, I mean, that's a good thing that they are stepping outside of just the set of attitudes that you have established for them to have, and they're opening themselves up to learn more things, right? That could potentially help them be better, right? I'm not talking about negative stuff, but like positively, if they are gaining more information that's going to help them be greater, what's the harm in that? I don't see the harm in that. I think that's a good thing because it helps them establish their set of attitudes, which is their mindset. My mindset shouldn't be directly what my mother's mindset is. My mindset shouldn't be directly what my teacher's mindset is. My mindset should not be directly what my friend's mindset is. You should be gathering information everywhere you go so that you can form your overall mindset. Or your set of attitudes. Justin said, I remember getting slapped if I got into grown conversation. Why are we not raising our kids like that? Hey, Mr. Reese, how you doing, love? Happy Life Be Life on Monday. Hey, James, bestie, thank you so much for joining. Happy Life Be Life on Monday. So, listen, Justin, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with slapping your children and telling them to stay out of grown folk conversation. I do think that there is an appropriateness to conversations at times, but I don't think that keeping secrets and doing little things, like, I don't know, it's just levels to stuff, right? I think it's levels to stuff. Let me see. The box is open, guys. Hey,
The
Justin.
boxes are open, people. But okay, so let me tell you what I'm saying though.
Okay.
Like, I remember how I was raised. I remember how my mother said that she was raised. Like, we were raised, like me myself was raised to love the world, be respectful.
Okay.
Okay, respect. When I say be respectful, I mean like mind your business. I mean like do what you need to do to keep your own house in order. I mean like man, it's a lot. Okay, because we see how this world is going. We
Mm-hmm.
see how these kids are becoming crazy. Like, bruh, I just saw a video where someone who was raised in suburbia had the biggest house on the block.
Mm-hmm.
His mom and dad, black family, had the biggest house on the block.
Uh-huh.
And he went to school, got into an argument, and shot down four people. A
Wow.
kid that was raised in suburbia.
Mm-hmm.
The parents couldn't have been in his life because he was suburban raised. He only learned what he learned from
In his
outside
environment.
people.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And we
what?
deal with this
Okay. I'm sorry.
we deal with this on a regular. We deal with people, we deal with children, our children, the people that we are raising. I'm not saying your children. I'm not saying people on the panel children,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like we have parents out here that are that they can be successful, but they still choose the wrong way to raise their children. Like, how is a suburban child, someone who don't have to worry about nothing, plus he drove a Charger, a brand new Charger to school, go and kill four people for what?
Well, like mommy said, crazy people live in suburbia too. And they do. Can do. I mean, I think obviously location can matter in certain instances, but just because you live in the hood don't mean that you crazy or anything like that. Just the same as if you live in the suburbs, don't mean that you're sane and got it all together.
So,
That's
so
not.
I'm a hood and suburban baby. I was raised in the hood, ended up in suburbia. I didn't get to suburbia till I was like 15 years old.
Hmm.
That's when my mom got straight or whatever, and that's when we started living good. So I know both sides.
Yeah.
But for me to have known both sides, I do not want to go back to the hood. I promise you, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's yeah, I wouldn't want to raise my kids in the hood because it should not even be a such thing as a hood in my opinion. It shouldn't be a thing, but unfortunately
That's true.
I already know how America is set up, so this is what we have. But
Exactly.
when you know better and can do better, we should do better. It shouldn't even be a thing, but
Exactly.
you know,
But this, but see
I'm
that this this that thing I'm talking about though. Like I said, this young man I'm speaking about,
Mhm.
his parents own businesses, not a business, but businesses.
Mhm.
Lived in a rich neighborhood where he decided because he had a bully. I don't know what obviously his parents wasn't in his ear because they don't know that as time go by, things get worse. It's not getting better. We ain't seen better in a long time.
Right.
It just gets worse.
Mommy
The
said they the
bullying.
ones that be the most messed up. Exactly, because they I
You
don't
really
know.
think that, Felix?
I think that they do because privilege, first of all, and not ever knowing anything different. Like you said, like why how does he even know to do something like that, right? Um when we are raised around turmoil in the hood, people that were raised in the hood, to be specific, we are raised around turmoil and we got this safety mindset, like we got to keep ourselves safe any means necessary, whatever. They don't grow up, for those people that grow up in suburban neighborhoods, they don't grow up with that type of mindset and that type of grit, essentially, to survive. We are the survival of the fittest from the beginning, growing up in those type of hostile environments. But for somebody like them that ain't never knew nothing, they let their privilege get too far out of their hands or out of their reach at
I can
times.
see that. I can see
And
that.
so they don't understand, oh, if I do this, like we learn very quickly because it's happened to us. We've seen it happen to our elders. We've seen it happen, through our bloodline. They don't seem to gather that same type of understanding because it's not a regular occurrence for them. You know what I'm saying? And so they think, oh, if I do this, I can potentially get away. I can buy my way out of this. I can fix this. I can whatever. Or who gonna say something to me? Who gonna check me? Essentially, because they already know the system is rigged. They know what it is. So,
Oh
and a
yeah.
lot of them do things without thinking twice because privilege. And it may not even be like they're saying verbatim, "I have privilege," but it's like a thing that's their mindset. Like I am me. Who gonna do something to me? It's crazy. But we don't get that privilege of having that type of mindset, right? Because we already know what it is for us most times. And mommy said, which happens all the time. Exactly. It happens all the time. I mean, I
Which is
remember that
true.
case that
Which is
happened.
true.
I remember that case that happened a couple of years ago with that Wahite young boy or man that had
No,
essayed
no, bump
a
that.
young lady
Listen to
essayed a girl, and he got
listen to
off.
this.
They took him to trial and everything. He got off for affluenza because and that was my first time even hearing that. But because of his affluence, and meaning where he grew up, how he was raised, his environment, all of those things, they let him off because he didn't know any better because of his environment. But again, had it been somebody that their affluence was in the hood, oh, you knew better because this is what y'all do all the time. So of course they're gonna send you away. You wouldn't be able to get off because of affluence. What are we talking about?
Okay.
That still is
So
just mind
so
blowing to me to this day.
okay. I wasn't. Of course, I wasn't born here. I'm Jamaican born or whatever. When I came here, I was poor as freak. My family, like, I remember having cornflakes with water because we didn't have nothing else. So
Yeah.
I was definitely raised hood. I mean, raised hood. But I'm one of them ones that always wanted to get out the hood.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see myself continuing to be raised hood. Like, bruh, I've seen so many deaths in my life. I've seen so much crap in my life. There is no way I was gonna stay there. And there's no way with me being old enough, bringing children into this world, that I would. Man, I am a lucky man. I'm gonna say that I'm lucky. My children, I raised my children with education.
Mm-hmm.
I have I have my 15-year-old daughter is in Harvard.
Okay.
My my older children graduated college.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I got to worry about is my son right now,
Yeah.
which I'm hoping that he say the right he do right by his sister, which told him if she joined the military, he has to join too. She's going into the Navy, even though she don't have to,
Mm-hmm.
but she's doing it to try to convince her brother, my son, to do right by his life.
Mm-hmm. So she
But
help
I
him.
never raised my kids.
She trying to help him
My
change
kids
his
were raised
mindset.
suburban. My kids were raised suburban. I ain't gonna lie. I was hood, yeah, but my kids, I never wanted that for my kids, so I raised them suburban. But I always tried to introduce the hood to my children.
Via you. Through you. Right?
Say what?
You said through you, right?
Yeah, through me. But they see it. They see it. And my daughters definitely see it because they know I'm still hood. Anytime anybody mess with them, they see the hood in me.
Understood. Understood. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go too far in that, but my daughters, they understood the assignment.
yeah.
My son, he's getting there, but man, the way okay, because I would never say that the way that our generation raised kids now is not up to par to their generation back in the day
Mm-hmm.
because we do the best we can given what they gave us.
Right.
So if you have a problem with the way I raised my child, you got to look at yourself because you raised me.
Right, right, right. For sure. For sure. I think it's just,
Mommy, mommy, hold on. Before you finish that, mommy, I'm not talking about you. You raised a great daughter. Okay, you were a great mother. I'm sorry, just had to say that. Go ahead.
why you have to say that? What
Cause I ain't
she say?
want mommy to think I'm talking about her.
Oh
Nothing.
no.
But I didn't want her to say nothing.
Oh no, 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 no. She knows I'm amazing. She knows she's doing great. She does. It's fine.
Oh, really? Really? Not.
But no, like, I think back to, the top of what you said about telling kids to stay out of grown folk conversation. I think it's a time and a place for everything, obviously. And I do have to remind my children sometimes when I am having more mature conversation that, hey, this is not a time for you to chime in, even though my oldest got it bad. She be listening to everything. Like she be trying
What
to
are you talking
talk.
about? Because the older ones think they grown and they want to be in the conversation thinking they want.
Figure out what
They're like, look, listen, everything grown folk talk about is not children related. So
right.
stay out the business until we call you in there.
Exactly, exactly. I just kind of be like, but I know for her, it's coming from a more, she's very inquisitive and very so much like trying to figure out like what's going on, what happened, like did somebody try to hurt y'all? What's like she's always trying to figure out what's happening for those purposes, not necessarily so she can be like
Which
fast or grown and all that type of stuff.
how,
But
how old is that child?
she's 8. She's 8. But I be
Hey,
telling her
okay, so yeah, she's very into what's going on in the world today. Type.
on. But I be trying to tell her too that, it's not that I don't want to have conversation with you, but also whatever I'm telling another adult in that moment is between us because it's not your burden to bear. It's not for you to carry. It's not for you to concern yourself or be consumed with more so. So I think the reason why I say I didn't
And
agree
that's
with
what.
what you said, like I like slapping a kid in the mouth for being a grown folk conversation. But what is that teaching you? What did you really learn other
Oh,
than
wait, wait,
I
wait, wait,
better
wait.
not?
I say that. I said that. I did say that, but I would never put my hands on my
No,
children.
no, no. I
Okay.
wasn't saying that
I
you
mean,
did. You
no,
said
no
that your
lie, no
mom
lie.
did
I
that
ain't
to
gonna
you.
lie. I will spank them, but I will always remind them to stay out of grown folks' business. I mean,
But isn't the
but
problem having that conversation as to what you mean by that? Because if you constantly say, I mean, it also could have went another way if you telling a kid to stay out of grown folks' business, and then they like a grown person do something to them, and that grown person say this is grown folks' business, so you don't tell nobody else. Then they don't end up telling you.
oh
I think all I'm saying is
no,
I think
no.
there
See
needs
that?
to be explanation behind why, other than like you said, your mama did pop you in the mouth and said stay out of grown folks' business. Well, what is that teaching me other than I'm gonna get hit if I chime in this conversation? But also, I'm still
Oh, okay,
inquisitive.
okay,
I
okay.
still want to know what's going on.
Wait. Okay, I understand what you're saying,
Yeah,
and that's only because what you're saying only changed because times have changed. But back in the day, I can remember going to a neighbor's house. I break a neighbor's child's toy. I got my ass whooped. Then I went home, got my ass whooped again.
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
we don't do that now. We don't have what we had back in the day. We don't have that uh, community love.
We don't
That that
we don't have the village no more.
yeah, no village. There's
We
no
don't have the
village.
village. We don't have the village no more.
I agree with that because I was just having this conversation with another adult recently about our kids, and I was telling her that it should not be, especially when you're in a space with all adults and there's children in the room. And if we see one of the kids misbehaving or not sharing properly or not being nice, any of us should be able to tell that child as an adult, hey, that's not okay.
Yes,
You can't act like that because it does take a village. I, as the
yes,
parent, may
ma'am.
not see my child misbehaving in that moment, and you may do see them, so you need to be able to correct them. Now, I'm not saying I'm giving you permission to dog my child, slap them around. Absolutely not, because that's what you do at your house. I don't do that at my house. But I do give you permission to correct their behavior by speaking to them and telling them and acknowledging, hey, that's not nice. That's not okay. We don't behave that way. And as
Yeah,
adults, as the
Okay,
village, we need to
so
have that understanding.
you can't even do it. You can't even do that no more because you try to correct somebody's child now, shit, they be ready to fight.
This is true.
To
shoot
some,
you
to
or
some,
anything else.
yeah, they don't. They no, they don't want you to even correct their child verbally. So
But again, that's why I said I think it's
Well,
important for your village and whoever that is
mm,
to have that same understanding as how you all want to raise your children. I wouldn't want nobody telling cussing my kids out because I don't cuss my kids out. Don't tell my kids to go sit your eight
stop.
down or I beat you or I
Bro.
smack you. I don't talk to my kids like that. So why you think it's okay for you to talk to my kids like that? Just because that's how you talk to your children.
So
So
so I remember. I told you what that was about, but I also remember like I remember when parents didn't get in trouble for beating their own children. I remember when parents could sit there and discipline their children how they felt like they need to be disciplined because parents are the ones that are raising these children. But then they took away the rights of parents and how they raise their children. So now we're supposed to raise our children the way everyone else want us to raise our children. And it's crazy, like, bro, you gonna try to put restrictions on how I can raise my child, but your
yeah,
child done robbed the bank. Your
Yep.
child done did this and done that, but you gonna sit here and tell me how to raise my child?
Even with that though, Justin, I think what ended up happening, why there did become a time that it had to be some type of guidelines for parents, essentially, is what has happened, is because there were a lot of parents being abusive to their children and did not view it as being abusive because that's what their parents did to them or their grandparents did to them. Like, again, it's a trauma
Well, let's
response,
continue to do so.
especially in our
No,
culture, though.
no. If it work, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But it
If you
was
beating
broke.
your child,
But
me
it was
no,
broke.
no. Okay. Let's look at this. You say it was broke, but I remember back in the '80s when we didn't have children going to jail for fucking murder or selling drugs. We didn't have children doing mass shootings at schools. We didn't have children doing whatever the fuck they want to do. We didn't have that in the 80s. Why?
It
Because
didn't
we
happen that
had
much.
parents and grandparents that will whoop our ass and tell us this ain't the way.
But Justin, you saying that about us, but how many of us have actually done those things today? It's not many of us that have done
Me,
that. That's that privileged side of folks
me,
that have done that.
no. It's the people that remember the way and try to get their kids to be great black Americans.
Yes.
And I say that only because yes, I'm a black man. I have lived through difficulty all my life.
Hmm.
I have lived through even though I'm a college student, even though I've had a great life or whatever.
Hmm.
I understand. Oh shit, this man. Hold on. No. Sorry, it's my wedding. Damn it.
Okay.
No, I'm going.
Mommy said a different generation. Yes, it is a different generation, but also I think, this conversation is always a little more difficult to have with my generation and the older generation because I think y'all hold so tightly on that's what corrected me, that's what helped me be better. But even with those beatings or smacking upside the head, you still made some wrong decisions. You still got in some trouble. And I'm not saying that's
I'm not
everybody's
saying I
story.
didn't.
I'm not saying that's everybody's story. You may have not went to the extent of unaliving somebody, thank God, but you still made some wrong decisions. And my point is, I think that there can be some correcting without abuse. I think that just because we were
Which
taught
is
to hit and smack and punch to train or discipline does not make it okay. Discipline can happen in
which
another way too.
which you're right about. Which you're right about. As I've said, I don't beat my children. I don't. I don't try to. The only time I ever put my hands on my children are when they absolutely do wrong. And I don't do it. I try to get my older children to discipline my youngest just because I know if I tried to do it, I'd probably end up in jail.
Hmm. Yeah, I just
Now,
think it's.
with my son,
Oh wait. Oh,
with my son, what
okay.
she say?
Blossom said a lot of
A
parents
lot
are
of
disciplining
parents,
their
a lot
children
of
without
parents are
knowing how
dis.
to regulate their own emotions. And therein lies the problem, which is why it became an issue, which is why people had to step in because a lot of people, you hear a lot of people from older generations talk about my daddy was a drunk. And every time he come home drunk, he'll beat my mom, he beat the kids, he beat everybody. Well, that sounds like somebody that's emotions are unregulated and they can't get their own mental health under control. And so they're taking out their frustration on everybody in the household. and you getting beat for no reason, or because you didn't wash a dish, or because like that is not okay. Because your adult parent or guardian or whoever could not regulate themselves in a moment. That's not okay. But it's 7 o'clock. We're gonna have to continue this conversation another day. I appreciate y'all for joining. We about to go watch the new episode of Life Be Life in episode 4 of season 3, which is called A Peace Seeking Vessel. Please come over to YouTube if you have not subscribed. Go ahead and subscribe in the link in this bio. And follow me over there right now. The countdown has started. I will be over there live chatting with you all. I enjoyed this conversation, and I hope that you all remember that this is a safe space, and we are here to uplift and learn and educate each other, but also to remember that life be life in us all. Okay, so I love y'all.
Wait. Before you leave, you never gave Mr. Reese a chance to talk.
I know. I mean, me and you.
That's all right. That's all right. I catch you next time.
I know. We're gonna have to
I catch you next time.
We're gonna continue it another day. I got y'all, and I got you, Mr. Reese. I'm gonna send you the invite so we can go ahead and continue. Okay.
Hey, thank you for that bowl.
But-
You sent me
but this
FedEx in the
was-
mail. That was good.
You welcome.
Oh, that was good. That was delicious.
All right, y'all. I see.
Oh Lord.
Love y'all.
But this was a great conversation. So
Thank
It
you.
was.
yes.
All right. I'll see y'all over there on YouTube, and I'll be back here tomorrow too.
All right.
Bye.
All right.